So first of all, I will be telling you what treatment is and go over the 5 steps. Many of you know this, but it'll just be a quick refresher course. And those of you for whom this is a new idea, then we'll all be on the same page. And then it's very important when we pray, even when we do affirmative prayer, that we know what we're praying for. So we'll have a little meditation time, a little quiet time for each of you to listen deep and see what it is that you want to open to today. What good do you want to bring into your life today? And then I will actually take us through the steps. We will all go together. And notice I will use the word I as if I'm speaking about myself. And so please step into that I, that the I for all of you as well. So just a little note on that. And then we will have musical breaks to step more fully into each step. So that's how that's going to look. So first, let me do a little overview, a little reminder, a little refresher of this thing that we call spiritual mind treatment. So what is it? Well, yes, it's a kind of prayer, but for those of you who are new to us, reminder that in this kind of prayer, the prayer is to change us. To shift us from thinking that we are powerless, that the universe is random, or that we're at the effect of, or that our good, whatever we deeply desire, is not going to come to us. It's not about doing anything to God. Affirmative prayer is not about doing anything to God, because what we teach is that God withholds nothing from us. Nothing from us that is our good. And so that's what this kind of prayer is designed to do, is to shift our thinking, as I said. And it's based on a couple of premises in this teaching. One is that who we are, who each of us is an expression of God. We're not God out here and us little worms here. We are each an expression of God, and that divine lives right at the center of our being. Y'all know it in those moments when inspiration comes. All of a sudden you realize what the absolutely right thing to do or say in the moment is, and you think, where did that come from? That was the divine speaking through us. You know, those of us, one of our newcomers today is a mom. Remember those times, and those of you who are moms, when those babies were little and taken everything out of you, and you thought, I do not have the patience to get through one more moment with this baby, and then somehow the patience comes. That's the divine in us. So we start with that premise that there is a connection between us and the infinite, and that the prayer then goes to actually download whatever, and I love that now that we have computer reason, I can say that what we do in prayer is download God into our life, into our circumstances. So whatever it is that is wanted and needed, we don't have to pray to God to give it to us. We open to receive it and allow it to flow through us. So that's what we're doing. And the third premise is that there is this actual aspect to God that we describe, that we call the law. And that's been taught in metaphysics for years, and Jesus taught it this way: it is done unto you as you believe. So it is basically the idea that where our thoughts go, there our life comes. And we are always putting things into this aspect of God, the law, and it's always saying yes to us. We're always putting things into it, but often they're like, oh man, this is really going to be hard. Oh gosh, this is going to be so boring. Oh my gosh, it's never going to work, it's never going to work, it's never going to work. And the law is always saying yes to everything. So when we do this we take this time to do this very conscious prayer, what we're doing is consciously putting into the law, setting into the law that which we want instead of that which we do not want. So the premise is we're expressions of God, and that we can allow God to flow through us. In fact, that's usually when we have problems, when we're not listening, when we're trying to do it all by ourselves, and that there is a law that automatically moves as we speak into it. So and another thing I wanted to say for any of you who've been around for a little while, but not for very long, you can get a lot more depth in this thing called spiritual mind treatment, this form of affirmative prayer, by taking classes. Because it's very powerful, and the idea isn't difficult, but it takes practice, and it's something we all deepen into. So if you love today, I really invite you to take a class, whether here or at your home center, so that you can really harness this tool, because it's very powerful. So, 5 steps to treatment. First step is called recognition. And that's because we recognize, instead of keep focusing on the problem, look at how big this is, look at how terrible this is, oh my gosh. We remove ourselves from the problem and recognize, recognize that God is all there is. And so we put our attention on the infinite nature of God. That's recognition, the first step. Second step we call unification. And this is really powerful and difficult for some of us who grew up in the Judeo-Christian tradition where there's a separation. Humankind, God. Unification says, and this is what one of our premises, that we are expressions of God. We are one with God, unifying, so whatever God is, we are. Whatever God is, we are. Whatever aspects of life we might go to God for, traditionally, that is already in us. So in unification, we consciously seek to open to that truth. That if God is infinite, so am I. Very important. The third step is really the affirmative step. It's like a long affirmation. It's called realization or declaration. And that is where we specifically claim and accept the good that we are desiring. We claim it. We don't get all wussy like, oh, I know my good is coming to me. What is it? Is it a wonderful relationship, a wonderful, juicy, loving relationship? Is it meaningful, well-paid work that expands you, where you're contributing to people? Is it a greater sense of health and well-being? Is it just a new idea to face a situation in your life? Whatever it is, you claim it specifically. And then in this step, it's not a head thing. I mean, you can have a head thing, but then you fill it out. You'll see it. See yourself in the new condition that you wish. See yourself in that relationship. See yourself in that joy. See yourself abundant and feel it. And feel it, because it is that feeling that creates a new vibration that starts drawing that good to you. As long as we're in the negative, we're just pushing away our good. So in that realization step, it's very important that we make it real to us. And then, when we know it's ours, then all there is left to do is give thanks for it. Very simple. We give thanks for this truth of knowing that this is coming into our lives. And finally, and this is important too, very simple, but sometimes hard to do, we release it. That fifth step is called release. We let it go, and we're not just throwing it out and hoping it sticks somewhere. We are releasing it into that thing called law, which always says yes. So we don't have to go pick through it, but we release, we say, I know the law is working. We let it go, and then we live in the answered prayer. And that means being awake to what shows up, and we take the next step. and then we're awake to what's showing up and take the next step. But in the release, we know we're giving it into the law, and the law is going to start working. So, those are the 5 steps. And so now, as I said, it's important to know what you're treating, and that's how we do that, what you're treating for. And, there's no big or small in God. There's nothing that if we deeply desire it, that God would say, you don't get that. You don't get to have that. But it is important, as we'll look at in this meditation, it is important that we might have the what, the idea of what we want, but that we equally move into the experience we want. Because we can get attached to the form. Some people say, I want to be in a relationship, I want to be in a relationship. Well, have you ever been in a relationship that was awful? Then it's terrible. So you might say, yes, I want to be in a relationship, a committed relationship, but then let yourself go and claim the experience you're looking for. Intimacy, joy, love, fun, whatever it is for you. So I'm going to invite you now to close your eyes. And I'm going to invite Lee to come on in. And so we're just going to take a few moments here to first just breathe, become aware of our breath. And as you become aware of your breath, feel yourself breathing into your heart space. And know that as you breathe into that space, you are connecting with your deepest self, your truest self. The ancients called the heart the seat of wisdom. And so in this moment, allow that wisdom, that heart space within you to reveal to you what is yours to claim this day. We all have different kinds of lives. It can be something that's, quote, big or something that's little. It makes no difference. What's been a calling on your heart to have and to experience? Or if you have a troubling situation in your life, what would you like to have an experience in its place? It could be a greater sense of purpose. It could be more meaningful work. It could be that loving, intimate relationship. It could be healing in a relationship that is going through a difficult time. It could be greater abundance in your life. It could be a greater sense of health and well-being. And it could just be a new experience of life. So just get a sense of what that is for you in this moment. And so holding that in your heart, let us move into our prayers. And I invite you to keep your eyes closed this whole time if that's comfortable for you. If it's easier for you to listen with your eyes open, that's fine, but try to have them be what Reverend Hollis calls soft eyes. So I know, I recognize that there is one life, one mind, one presence, and that is God. And that presence is everywhere. There is no time, no space, no place where God is not. There is no time, no space, no place where I cannot touch God. There is no time, no space, no place where God does not touch me. I know God is more infinite than anything I can imagine. It is infinite in wisdom. Wisdom pouring through all things. It is infinite in intelligence. It is infinite in creativity. It is that which set the stars and the planets in perfect order. And so indeed, God is order and harmony and perfect and right unfolding. And I know God is peace. The peace that passes understanding, no matter where I may find myself, at the center of my being, there is a peace that can rise up and create calm throughout my being. God is that perfect peace that cannot be disturbed by any person, place, or thing. And I know that God is perfect life. It is that life force, that life energy unfolding through all creatures everywhere on the planet, and that life knows no impediment to its free, full functioning. That life is always unfolding, and it is unfolding toward its greater and greater expression. And I know God is abundance. As I look at the sands on the beach, as I look at raindrops, as I look at snowflakes in their infinite diversity, I know that God is abundant. There is nothing that limits God. And I know God is love. That love pouring itself, that unconditional, ever-flowing love, like a fountain that keeps giving and giving. There is no end to the love that God is. There is no condition, there is no earning. It is a flow that moves through all. And so as I bask in my knowing of what God is, and I invite each to particularly claim right here and right now an aspect of God that has to do with your desire. Is it peace? Is it joy? Is it abundance? Is it love? Is it that life? Is it creativity? And just know God is that. as we recognize there is no other. There is only one power. So knowing that power is God, and knowing that I am one with that power, that power lives and moves in me, I unify with all that God is in this moment. If God is infinite peace, I am that peace. It pours through me no matter what is going on in my life. If God is infinite creativity, I am that creativity. Ideas, new ideas flow forth from me with ease. If God is abundance, then I am abundant, and I draw to me resources, goods, supply, money, ideas, people abundantly to support my life. If God is wisdom, then I am that wisdom, and I have the knowing to make the decisions I need to make, to speak the words I need to speak, to know what I need to know when I need to know it, because that wisdom is who I am. And if God is that infinite, ever-flowing life, then I am that infinite flowing life. And I cannot be limited by any person, place, thing, disease, or condition. That life that is God is ever flowing through me. And I am always in life, full of life, and ever, ever, ever revealing more of that divine life. More wholeness, greater ease, greater well-being, knowing that infinite life is my life. And if God is love, then I am that love. And I am fully able to embrace and bring into my life loving friends and family. In the vastness of divine love, I can do any forgiveness that is mine to do, because love is the truth of who I am, not resentment or bitterness. Love is the truth of who I am, and I right here and right now unify with that and know what is flowing through me. And so in this moment of knowing that allness of God right here, right now, as me, as each of us, I invite you specifically to claim whatever quality of God is yours to know right here and right now. And as we listen to the words of this next song, continue to deepen and claim. So knowing that all of these things I am, that there is no separation between that divine and myself, I now realize and claim my good. I now claim that desire of my heart for more meaningful work, a healed relationship, greater health and energy, a sense of freedom in my body, a sense of freedom in my life, a sense of freedom in my finances. I claim peace no matter what is going on in my life. take a moment and claim whatever it is for yourself. Say, I now claim and accept. And say whatever it is. And as I claim this good for myself now, I see it. In my mind and heart's eye, I step into that experience. And I allow myself to not only see it, but feel it. I feel the sense of energy in claiming that God's life as my life and the energy to do and be whatever is mine to do and be. I feel that sense of power and energy and joy as I step more fully into my life's purpose. I feel that sense of fulfillment as I walk toward my dream. I experience the joy of my fulfilling life. I experience the joy of knowing that I cannot be separate from any good I might desire. And I feel that love surrounding me, connecting me to friends and family, bringing into my life a special, intimate relationship. I feel that love. I feel that sense of intimacy. And I feel that sense of joy. Sense of expansion as I claim abundance for my life. As I claim abundance of good, abundance of friends, abundance of substance and resource, that I feel the contentment, the joy, the happiness. I see it. I feel it. I open my being up to experience this good full out. Right here and right now, it is in my life. What I desire is my life now. And I know there is nothing in God that would deny me this good. And so I let go. If there is any idea, if there is any but about this good flowing into my life, I surrender it now, for it is not the truth. That Spirit never denies its greater expression. And so as our good, as the good that each of us claims is for that larger life, that more joyous, more abundant, more healthy, more peaceful, more joyful, more loving experience of life, as we lean into that, as we expand into that, Spirit is always supporting that greater expression. And so I release any old ideas of not deserving or of not enough, of no education, or how the past has been. I let all of that go, knowing that is not the truth of that ever-renewing life of God that is me and that is mine. And so this moment, I step into a new day. I step into my new day of good, freedom, of wholeness, of joy, of love. I step into it, I see it, I claim it. And I allow myself to say, something wonderful is happening right here, and that something wonderful is my life now. And as I claim this, a wellspring of gratitude flows up. And I say, thank you. Thank you, Mother, Father, God within, for revealing to me what is possible in my life. I am so grateful to know the truth of my good at hand right here, right now. I am so very grateful. So in that place of gratitude and peace, I know what I have claimed is coming. It is being unfolded through that time and space that exists on this thing we call Earth. And so from this place of peace, I release this word that I have spoken. I release this prayer, knowing that I do not have to micromanage this. I am releasing this not into some mysterious ethers. I am releasing this word into the law, which takes my word and says yes, and goes to unfold it. And so I stand in gratitude and I walk in answered prayer. I live in answered prayer. My divine inner eyes are now open to see how this good is showing up, how it is manifesting in my life. And so I prepare in this moment to let God's love, God's grace, God's peace wash over me. And I take it in. And I invite you to stand as you are able. And as you get the words to this song, feel free to sing, or you may sit in your chairs. We've let it go. It is done. We let it be, and so it is.